First things first, yes, I got a perm and the white is gone. I'm sorry. I know you guys loved the hair. It will be back. Trust me. I'm gonna wash it soon and it's probably gonna straighten itself out and it's gonna be the same cut, I suppose. Just without the white. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about today's topic. A few months ago, I made a video on Ragnarok, the Netflix series, where I talked about my personal interpretations of the scenes, how they related to Norse mythology, and what I found interesting and cool about them. Recently, season 2 came out, and my video didn't really go viral, it's just got a lot more views suddenly. And a lot of people in the comments have asked me to do a season 2 review. I'm sorry it took me so long. I had to force myself a little bit to watch it. But we'll get into that. So I finished watching it now and I have a review ready. It's not only a review, I'm gonna split this into 2 parts. There's going to be the mythology part, similar to the first video that I made on this, where I'll be kind of explaining. It's a little less my interpretation and theories in this one, because everything is much clearer, I feel like. And then there will be the review part, where I'll tell you how I felt about the plot, about where the show is going and stuff like that. So look forward to that. I would like to say at the beginning here that I made that original first video about Ragnarok season 1 because I watched it and I was really excited because it kind of showed something new and interesting, and I could see that the direction that the show could take would be very, not really new, but original compared to a lot of other interpretations of Norse mythology. And so that was what excited me the most about the series. The plot was okay, but like not bad, but also not amazing. I made that video that was almost 30 minutes long, I think, because I was really, really into that. Clearly, the second season doesn't hold up to that. Yeah, let's get into the mythology. What I liked about season 1 was that everything was a little shrouded in mystery. Nothing was kind of handed to us, like you had to go and actually look into the myths to kind of understand what was going on in certain cases, like I talked about in my first video, where I was like, oh look, this scene basically mirrors this myth that is in Norse mythology, but if you don't know Norse mythology, maybe you would have missed that. And here there is some of the stuff that is not explicitly said and explained, but it's much less than I feel was in season 1. So for example, it was revealed that Magnus' brother, Lauritz, is Loki, which is something that I predicted in my first video. I was kind of disappointed with the direction that they took it in. There was some cool stuff that they incorporated from the myths. So for example, the fact that he literally birthed the Midgard serpent, which is a thing that happens in the myths. And so that was very accurate. And if you didn't know the myths, you were like, what the hell is going on? Why did he keep the stake and shit? That's because, yeah, that's the Midgard serpent. Anyways, and the fact that he's like half god and half giant, it's also very true. So he was first like awakened when he had to like bite the heart and shit. But then he also had to mix his blood with Odin's or Wotan's in this case to like finish the process or something. That's also accurate. Yeah, they were blood brothers, like was explained by Eric. They mixed their blood, and that's, I guess, how Loki became a god, but I'm not entirely sure about that part. There were things like this. I think it's very nice to bring that and show that and kind of teach the myths through that, even though it might be a little harder to understand, but that's fine. What I didn't like, though, is that everything got much more dramatic. Not only in the sense of like the story, but also like just within the mythology itself. You know, they get the hammer at the end, and when it's like something important is going on with it, it makes the sound that makes me think of nothing else but the exact same sound that Mjolnir makes in the Marvel movies. And I'm like, why? Why? Like, it's just a hammer. It doesn't have to go vroom. You're just copying the Marvel movies right now. And there were more things about that, like why does Loki have black hair? I don't know. It's never said that he doesn't have black hair, but it's never said that he does have black hair. So like, anyways, to go a little bit further with that, also for example, Odin or Wotan, you know, he got awakened and stuff. And then Magne brought him along for this like meeting of the gods and stuff. And Odin was just like, or Wotan guy, I'm just gonna call him Odin. He goes like, oh, you can't be here, you're a trickster, you're a traitor, you're gonna betray us, you have to go. And that's like not something that myth Odin would do, you know? That's very much what like happens in the Marvel movies, right? Like Odin is the king and he's like, okay, Loki, you're a little piece of shit. But in the myths, they're equals. Odin trusts Loki, I mean, not always and not with everything, but they're blood brothers. And that means a lot. Furthermore, with Odin, also in Marvel movies, and I feel like in a lot of media, not just Marvel here, but like in a lot of stuff, Odin is portrayed as this like king. Very wise, very serious. But if you actually look at the myths, he's as much of a trickster as Loki. That's why they vibe so well, because they're the same kind of type of gender-bending trickster kind of creatures and gods. Of course, he's the All-Father and he's like the most important of the gods, kind of, but he's still a flawed being who likes to shapeshift and wants to know a lot of things, like everything, sacrifices his eye for the fucking runes and shit. It's like a romanticized version of Odin that people use in a lot of their interpretations, and I just don't like that. I mean, it's fine. Everything that I've mentioned so far, you can absolutely have your own interpretation of the myths and work with that and use that in stuff that you create or just for your own entertainment. But I just didn't like that. Like what I was saying, I was looking forward to something that is new and exciting and has like an original take, but they just went with the exact same stuff. And with Loki too. Loki, trickster who betrays both sides and is on neither side really, but he's mostly bad. And like, you could have done so much more, so many more interesting things. There were some times where I was like, like, oh my god, I'm gonna talk about this in the plot though. I don't want to bring the plot too much into this because it's just, I'm trying to focus on the... But like in the first season where they did the myth of Utgarda Loki, where, you know, Thor and Loki and this little boy go to Utgarda Loki and they have to do these like challenges, but they like ultimately fail, but then they realize they're tricked, whatever. They like mirrored that in one of the episodes. They did a similar thing here with the scene where they forged Mjolnir, but like not as faithfully or not as closely. It wasn't close even in the first, but it was like even less close, and they mixed a bunch of stuff inside of it. So what they did is, you know, they had to be forging the thing. I don't actually remember if the forging of the Mjolnir required the things that they had, you know, the feather and stuff. I don't actually know that, so I'm not gonna claim that. But when I forgot his name, but like the little guy who was supposed to be the elf or the dwarf, where he did it wrong and the handle of the hammer was too short, that's actually exactly what happened in the myth when they were forging the hammer. Yeah, that's the thing. Mjolnir has too short of a handle. And there's a whole story behind it in the myths, which I think is interesting, and it involves Loki turning into a fly and like losing a contest and having his mouth sewn together. But I guess they weren't gonna include that because it would be too hard to include Lawrence into it because he doesn't know about the whole operation and thing. Or they could have. This makes me just want to rewrite it. And like, if you enjoy this, it's fine. I just hate it. I'm also gonna mention Tyr, like the guy, forgot his name, Harry. Is his name really Harry? It's not much of a Norwegian name, but what do I know? As you can see, I was not paying a lot of attention because I was very, very tired, very sick of it by like episode 5. I don't really like that they brought another god just to kind of fill in for Magne while Magne has his little crisis, which I thought was good, but you know, whatever. Tyr deserves better. Like, he's not just some fill-in war god. He's an actual like god of his own right and has a domain and like is important to people, and then he got his arm chopped off or something, which is also what happened in the myths. So that was interesting, but it just felt very lazy compared to this whole scene, this whole like, I don't know, what was it, like half of the episode where they tried to mirror this myth as closely as they could to having these little glimpses of things. I don't know. Like, it's cool to see. I was like, ooh, I noticed that. I wish it was more. I wish it was more focused on the mythology and on, like, the gods and the giants than it was on, like, the interpersonal drama, because I feel like it could have gone a little farther, but that's also my opinion. I think that's all I wanted to say about mythology, so let's move on to the review. So, as you probably have heard, I tried to keep it out of the mythology part, but it probably skipped it anyway, and you can probably tell I did not enjoy this series. I said why I didn't like the mythology stuff, but it was more so because of the plot stuff. Where do I begin? I'm gonna start with the good stuff, because there's not a lot of it. So what I liked is there was this one scene, like, at the beginning. I don't remember which episode, don't ask me. It's all gone. Sorry, I'm putting so little effort into this compared to the other video I made, and that's just because I didn't enjoy this. The only motivation I have right now to make this video is that people wanted me to do it. People wrote comments saying like, oh, I would like to see a video on season 2 from you, and I was like, okay, I'll do that for you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that it's probably not living up to what you wanted me to say. Right, hold on, I went on a tangent there. There was this one scene somewhere at the beginning where Wotan wakes up and like is Odin, and I really like that scene because you can kind of see he was this man, I think like senile old man who didn't really know what was going on. He was kind of like just running around on his little moped thing. Then he was awakened and you can see like the clarity in his eyes. That was like top tier acting. Give me freaking chills. It was a great scene, and I was like, holy shit, I can feel Odin being present. I said that Odin is not a king, this amazing authority figure that's perfect and stuff, but he still has authority. I mean, I don't know, I haven't met him. I suppose if he would walk into a room, people would still notice because he has an aura of authority. Is he a little dumbass sometimes, running around the world playing tricks on people? Yeah, sure, absolutely. But he's still the Allfather. We respect him. Anyways, yeah, that's what I like. I really, really like that scene, but that was like 5 seconds. And then I liked Lawrence. I just like his character, probably because I can see myself in him the most. There were definitely decisions made about his character arc that I disliked, but I liked a lot of the little stuff that he would say, you know, just his personality is very cool and interesting to me. Yeah, let's move on to the plot right now. I'm not gonna go too much into detail anymore because my brain stopped listening at some point and I don't even know what was going on anymore, but there was so much back and forth. Let's take Lawrence, for example. Something that really bugged me about Lawrence is that when it was revealed that his father is actually dude Vidar. First of all, I really hope that wasn't the case, but now I just have to live with that fact. He was like, okay, well now I'm gonna go with the giants, and they're like, oh no, actually, you know, my brother's better. I'm gonna side with my brother. Oh wait, giants. Never mind. There he goes again. It's like, I kind of understand where they were going with it, because like Loki's a trickster and he's gonna betray everyone and stuff, but that was like excessive. Also, like, you could have just done something else than something that is so extremely predictable and boring, to be honest. And then there was the same thing with Magne, where he was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna kill these giants. Then he kills a giant, he feels terrible about it, which is understandable, and I really like that part. His whole like crisis, his identity crisis, I was like, fuck yeah. Him being like absolutely mortified that he killed a person was fucking amazing. I love that. I can't believe the bar is this low that I have to compliment the show on giving people real fucking emotions. But anyways, but then he was asked to like do it again. And he was like, no. But then he was asked to do it again another time, and then he went like, you know, okay, I'm gonna kill the giants. That whole like crisis was for nothing. Okay. Yeah, and then like same thing with fucking Fjord, who was like, okay, I have goody now, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna become better, and then he was like, psych. There were too many twists, and it was happening too many times. If it happened like twice, fine, okay? But then it just happened with all of these characters. I just really didn't like that. It kept like going back and forth, and it's like, oh, when you have a twist every once in a while it's nice, but when you just keep having fucking twists, then your story is just twists, and then nothing about it is interesting anymore. I hope it doesn't make me sound like a weird person, but I really liked Magnus Crisis. That was great. I was like, fuck yeah. I really thought the series was gonna pick up from there and do something cool, but it just didn't. So here I'm gonna add a little section. I found some little connections in the plot. I thought I saw the direction that it was gonna go in next, but that it didn't. And I wish it did, and I want to point that out. Of course, if you like the series and you think it was good on you, great. I'm so happy you enjoyed it. But I want you to kind of understand how it could have been even better, at least from my perspective. So, for example, I felt like there was some setting up of the outcasts coming together. I still think like it's there, but it might come later. To explain what I mean by that is that there was Magne, the absolute like outcast, when he was like, hey, I'm not gonna kill people. Everyone was like, yeet, there you go. And then Saxa, who was trying her best to run the company and like do all the good shit, and then Fuhrer's like, psych. And Lauritz, because he's just that's part of his character. He's an outcast. So I felt like these three were gonna somehow go together and make everything better. Like, they're gonna find a third solution. We have two very black and white solutions. It's like, we kill all the giants, life's good. Or the giants think like, we're gonna kill all the gods, keep destroying the environment, and all's good. And I was like, okay, the outcasts from each of those groups are gonna come together and find a third way. I felt like there was foreshadowing for that. Magne and Saxa kind of like vibing sometimes, and Magne having his whole crisis and then saying like, I don't want to kill people anymore. Killing is bad no matter what the goal is. And I was like, yes, let's go. But then it didn't go anywhere, and like, maybe it's gonna come back. Maybe they're gonna bring that up in season 3. Season 2 just felt like a filler. It just felt like a filler for stuff that's gonna happen next, right? So what happened this season? We got rid of Vidar. We awakened a bunch of gods, so we have more characters to put into the mix. We saw a bunch of interpersonal drama into the mix, but like, that's about it. If you think about it, a lot of it was just going back and forth, realizing like who's on what side, who was actually gonna do anything. And then we ended up in a very similar situation that we were at the beginning of the series. So at the beginning, we had Magne and his powers. The giants were against him. What we ended up with is a bigger group of gods and Magne with his powers and a Mjolnir against a smaller group of giants, and then the variable that is Lauritz. But we ended up with Magne that is basically the same at the beginning. Maybe it's gonna come back that he doesn't want to kill people or like giants, no matter. But it seems so far that he's went just like, okay, I have to kill them anyway. There was no progression there at all. The only thing that changed about him is now he has more people to work with and a hammer. That could have been done in less than 6-hour-long episodes. That could have been like 2 episodes. And I feel like at the beginning, it was Iman's character was nice and fleshed out, but then she was kind of like a half villain for the rest. Same thing with Odin. Same thing with the guy, which is Tyr. It was brought up and then it was kind of put on the back burner, and they would just appear every once in a while to show that they're there, but not cooperating with Magne. It was just filled with all this stuff, but nothing happened. And I have a problem with that. And I think what Netflix is doing right now, they saw that the series is getting popular and they're trying to make it longer to get more people to watch it and stuff to happen, which comes at the cost of quality. Maybe I was looking at the first season with like pink sunglasses or however you call that. Like, I was seeing it better than it actually was because I was so excited about it. And so I missed that, like, it's not as good. But I genuinely think that season 1 was better and it was different from this one. Like, something happened along the way that changed. Even like the first few episodes were not great, but at least I could like see the progression of the story from season 1. Like, it picked up where season 1 ended and just kept going with that. I want to see what season 3 brings, but I'm not very excited about it. I don't think it's going to be great or amazing. I'm really sorry this is not probably the video that you wanted to see. At least you got to see my beautiful face. and my curly hair before it disappears when I'm gonna wash it, probably. There's no ending to this part. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna pretend there's a transition here and start talking about something else. There's probably only going to be one video this month because I was very busy at the beginning of the month, and so I'm only doing the video now instead of in the middle of the month as I usually do. So only one video, but afterwards I'm gonna try to get back into 2 videos a month. We're almost at 200 subscribers right now, actually. I think at the time I'm filming this, I have 199, which is already freaking amazing. So thanks everyone who's following. That's very nice of you. I hope you're enjoying my content. But what I was thinking is that for 200 subscribers, I would like to do a special video. I've gotten a bunch of questions, mostly about like where I'm from, what my identity is and stuff like that. And I would like to do like a little Q&A as a 200 subscribers special. Less of like a, hey, I'm a celebrity, ask me questions, but more like a, if you don't follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you don't even know what my name is. So maybe it's good that I have a video kind of clearing that stuff up. So if you have any questions about me, about like what I do or what I like or whatever, put them in the comments and I will answer them if they're normal fucking questions. And you can look forward to that video. If we reach 200 subscribers and I get enough questions, it might come out before the end of the month, so maybe there will be two videos this month. We'll see. But yes, thank you very much for your continuous support. I'm having a lot of fun filming videos so far, and it's been really great. It's been 6 months, I think, now since I started, and I'm very happy that I did, so thank you very much. Also, now that we're talking about this, if there's a topic that you would like me to talk about or anything, or like cover, you can always shoot me a DM, or you can always write it in the comments. I'm very happy to gather some video recommendations. My brain is sometimes not the best at coming up with ideas, and since I didn't come up with a specific Pride Month video, I would be very happy if you gave me some input into what kind of thing you would like to see as a kind of late Pride Month video. Happy Pride Month, by the way. It's almost the end of June, but sorry, I was very busy. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. Thank you very much for watching the video up until here. I'm very happy to read comments, so that would be really great if you commented, but of course no pressure. Anyways, I hope you'll have a nice day.